If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Wednesday, December 19th, 2012. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. In the Finis Monitor today, we'll be joined by Courtney Otto. She's a sophomore at Harvard, and she's going into the second half of the college swimming season, ranked in the top 10 in the 200 butterfly. And Courtney joins us now from Massachusetts. Courtney, it's good to see you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So, Georgia Invite, best times in the 200 fly, 400 IM. Must be really good to know that you were able to do that mid-season.
Yeah, no, definitely coming off of last year. I went the 400 IM time at the end of the season, so to be able to repeat that mid-season now, I think speaks really good on how our training's been going and everything.
And you, in that Georgia Invite, I want to talk about that 200 fly. You were in between two girls from Cal, Rachel Bootsma and Caitlin Leverance. Now, it's not your first time racing against girls of that caliber. What was it like in that race for you?
I was super excited. In the prelims heat, I was right next to Rachel Bootsma, and I ended up touching her out. And, I mean, the 200 fly isn't the best event for either of the girls, so I don't know, I figured it was like my best shot to be able to go out there and beat an Olympian. So I know they're both really, really good racers, and that's one of the things that I love about swimming is being able to race. So I kind of wanted to use that to my advantage.
So you weren't nervous at all that these two had just gone to the Olympics. Caitlin had just won a medal in the 200 IM. That didn't make you any unsettled at all.
I mean, I was really, really excited. Caitlin Leverance, I've definitely looked up to her over the past couple of years as she started to come on to the international scene. So it was definitely an honor to be able to race them, and I was excited for the opportunity.
156.24 in that 200 fly. It's 7th in the nation. It's also 100th of a second off the school record. So I would imagine you've got 156.23 either pasted on your wall or in your locker somewhere.
No, that's definitely a goal, and it's a Kate Mills record, the tube fly. And when I was on my recruit trip here, she was definitely someone who kind of took me underneath her wing. So it's kind of cool to be in the same category as Kate.
When you went to Harvard, you probably saw the records on the scoreboard. Did you ever think that by your sophomore year that you'd have a couple of them?
I definitely wanted to. It's definitely my aspirations. In high school, my coach was always like, just wait till college, because I never did weights or anything in high school, and he was like, just wait till college, and hopefully then you can start to really become faster. So I always had those goals, time-wise, to be able to go that fast. So the fact that it's actually happening it's really neat.
You got a lot of great women in your class there. That sophomore class seems to be doing very well. What is it about that group that's enabling you to swim so fast?
I think it's really interesting. Our entire sophomore class were all super, super close. I live with half of them, and I live next door to the other half. And so the fact that we're so close and we all have a common goal, that we all are very serious about swimming and we all want to go really fast, and there's not really any of that competitive jealousy between us. And so the fact that we can use each other as support networks, I think it's really special, and it's definitely been a key factor in me getting faster these past couple of years.
Well, now that you've had that great boost of swimming fast a couple of weeks ago, what does it look like now for holiday training?
I'm going back home for about a week and a half to train with my club team Star back in Buffalo. So we kind of get after it in the Christmas season. So it's going to be pretty rough, and then we come back here and we go to Puerto Rico for our training trip, and none of it's going to be easy, but hopefully I'll be able to get faster and stronger throughout this time.
Well, at least you'll be in Puerto Rico while you're going through that hard training. It's definitely not Buffalo or Boston.
No, definitely not. I can get a little tanner.
Yeah, you'll come back to Harvard in the next semester and make everybody jealous.
So tasty. Yes.
So when you guys go to Puerto Rico, is it really is it a bump up in yardage? What do you guys do differently there that you wouldn't be doing at Harvard?
We do bump up the yardage a lot. It's just more intense training. Here, when we're at school, like the academics is definitely a big stressor that we have. So being able to get away from the whole like Harvard bubble and just go somewhere where it's like sunny and there's beautiful weather, they really take advantage of it. We bump up our yardage. We do a couple of team sets to kind of build the team bonding. Our team gets closer as a unit because we're living with each other for 9 days. And I don't know, I think it's really good experience for everybody, and it helps build a stronger team as well as makes us stronger because we are increasing like our weights, our yardage, and it's good.
I want to go back to Olympic trials where you swam the 200 fly, you got 9th, you missed the final by 0.3 of a second. What were your emotions when you realized you had just missed out on that final?
It was a little bit bittersweet, but I was definitely super happy with how I swam. Coming off of NCAAs last year, I was really disappointed with my swims. I swam well at Ivies, but I was not used to having such an emotional meet as winning a championship. So it was hard for me to come back training-wise and to get myself mentally prepared for NCAAs. And my coach kind of sat me down after NCs and was like, you know what, you lost your training this year a little bit. You kind of were a little full of yourself in terms of like thinking that I was better than I actually was. So she really it was like a slap in the face, but it was something that I definitely needed. And I knew I didn't want that to happen for trials. So I changed everything that I was doing. I tried to eat better. I was more focused on practice, and I was just, I think, more dedicated. And it ended up paying off for trials. And I wanted to go that fast, but it was just kind of like a goal that was like far in the distance for me. So to be able to actually be 9th is definitely, I was so happy about it. And hopefully it'll fare well better for 2016.
You're probably one of the few people at Olympic trials that got 9th that says that it was a good experience. I mean, probably everybody's like, if I just, had one stroke harder or not breathe into that third wall, what if? But it sounds like it was a really positive motivator for you.
It was. I mean, at first I had all of those same emotions because the girl who got 8th was the girl right next to me who I was beating the entire time until that last 25. So those were definitely my first emotions. But Steph, my coach, is really good at getting me to kind of look at the big picture and realize how to gain something positive from each experience.
Well, you talked about, what you had to deal with at NCAAs, didn't have the great meet you had at the Ivy League championships. So was it just really just a mental thing for you? Is that something that you're going to be working on in this next championship season and making sure that you can continue to do well in NCAAs? Definitely.
I think I really had no idea what to expect from Ivies. And so I think going into this year, I'll be able to kind of control my emotions a little bit while still being super exuberant about what we're hopefully about to accomplish. But hopefully I'll be able to keep my emotions a little bit more in check and realize that there is another 4 weeks left of the season for me and be able to carry that mentally over to NCAAs. I think I have the racing mentality down, and I love the sport, so it has nothing to do with that. It's just really, I have to be able to keep my emotions more level.
What does it feel like now to be ranked in the top 10? I mean, last NCAAs, I think you were in the 30th in the 200 fly, and here you are, probably going into NCAAs, you're going to be top 10. How does that make you feel?
I'm so excited for it. I think having trials and having that atmosphere under my belt is going to be really, really helpful for me going into NCAAs. So I'm really just excited to see how much faster I can get, because there's definitely things I can work on from Georgia that I can translate over into NCAAs. And we really haven't had our hard training like we're about to experience over the next month. So hopefully I can get faster from that and then just keep the positive attitude going towards NCs.
Tell me what it's like to be a student athlete there at Harvard.
It's a little rough sometimes. Right now we're in our finals week, but I don't know. I think it's just kind of how you deal with it. It's being able to have your time management. Every swimmer has the academic stressors. So I don't know how much different ours is in comparison to everyone else's, but it's just all about time management and being able to realize your priorities, get them in check.
Is there any added pressure because you're at Harvard?
To do well in school?
Yeah,
or,
as opposed to, being at, let's say a state school. That would still be a good school.
I think it's definitely a little bit more because athletics aren't as glorified at Harvard as they are at like a state school. But I don't know. I think it's everyone here like has the priorities that they want to do well in school and they want to do well in swimming. And I think that's very important for the team as a whole. So we kind of all help each other in that aspect. Yes, we do need to do well in our academics because we've chosen this institution, but I don't know. It's something that we all want. Nobody is really put into this environment, or nobody stays in this environment if it's not what they want.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Well, I'm sure you're going to be really looking forward to your time in Puerto Rico. I'm sure you're also looking forward to your time at home. So a lot of things to look forward to the rest of this month. Thanks so much for joining us, Courtney.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too, and we'll see you at NCAAs.
Bye.
That's Courtney Otto from Harvard joining us in the Finis Monitor, and that will do it for today's edition of the Morning Swim Show. Be sure to log into swimmingworld.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest swimming news. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.